Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Metamorph League. In this episode, I put together a path of building for you. I'll leave a link to this in the description below, but this can explain the first 121 points you allocate on the skill tree, but specifically up to level 80. So, what we show here, or what I wanted to do here, is show a skill tree with my pathing orders, because this has been highly requested from my viewers that they want to know why and where I path to in what order in the beginning of a league, because the league starter skill tree is going to look different than the end, and how you start is very important. So I path up from here and I go grab Arcanist Dominion because I want to get to Lord of the Dead. Lord of the Dead is insane in the beginning of the game. That extra zombie, the damage, the life, the extra skelly, it's huge. Then I come over here, and I can grab Enduring Bond if I want to, if I want more damage out of my Summon Raging Spirits and my Skeletons. But my real goal is I'm going towards Sacrifice. So when you get to this, you get Minion Life, Minion Regen, Minion Leech, and Minion Regen and Life and ES. So your minions, up until this point, do not have any regen and do not have any leech. So they have no form of recovery, and so you need this for your zombies to actually live. And up to this point, you're mostly just going to be respawning your stuff, spawning skeletons, spawning summon raging spirits. At this point, zombies can actually survive now. And so this is why I go for the sacrifice wheel very early on. And then when you path down towards the Indomitable Army at 24 points, you're 1 point away from Indomitable Army. You could take away Enduring Bond if you want to get Rab. Just go straight for the minion survivability. But the reason... So there's like a balancing act, right? You could come get all this minion damage on the skill tree, right? You could go get Ravenous Horde. You just go get all the damage on the skill tree and go Skeletons or Summon Raging Spirit. But if you want to use zombies, you have to use Sacrifice, and then Indomitable Army really helps keep them alive. Then, I'll show you the next one. Indomitable Army and Sacrifice are so important though. So at 42 points, and in Ascension, I grab the Indomitable Army, I grab the rest of Aligned Spirits, and it's because, like I said, it's the beginning of the league, we're going to want the damage. We then can get also Retribution, more damage, life, regen, then more damage. Grave Pact, one of the best minion nodes for damage. Well, it might be the best minion node on the skill tree for damage. It's insane. And then I started pathing up to Fearsome Force. The Ascendancy, I actually looked at it. So as a league start, I was thinking about starting Mindless Aggression. But I always recommended Mistress of Sacrifice, but the damage, it like really depends. Okay, if you want to take advantage of Spirit Offering and all that, then use Mistress of Sacrifice. But we don't get the Casual Channeling, cast from damage taken until a higher level anyways. Like at this point, at 42, we were only level 19 maybe level 25. Like, we're not going to have the Casual Channeling yet. So then... I'll show you the next. I did 64 points in Ascend. So we completed Fearsome Force. We go up to Death Attunement. The reason I grabbed Death Attunement is because in the beginning of the league, your only forms of damage for free are from the skill tree. And so I want to take most of it. That's really good. And so as you can see, then we path over instead of around because it's way more points to go underneath. So since we're already up here, we just come across and we grab the Righteous Army and the Redemption. And it's kind of funny that we've grabbed every single minion damage node except for like Ravenous Horde and Grave Intentions. And because they're in the opposite direction and we don't really get, like, look, we're not doing anything over here. Why do we want to path over there? Okay. And then I got another Ascension. So we took Unnatural Strength. Again, this is for pure minion damage. And if you wanted, you could have grabbed Mistress of Sacrifice for the extra survivability from Mistress of Sacrifice. You don't have to go for damage, but I'm showing the damage route because it's the league start, and the one thing that we might struggle on is damage. Surviving doesn't matter because we're not playing hardcore. If we were hardcore, I'd care more. So 84 is where I started filling in the skill tree now. So we get the extra purity of flesh, the extra chaos res, the life, the all res, the life. Then we path down here through constitution, more life. But the main reason is I was trying to get this all res. This is where, like, you might not have to do this. It really depends on the items, but the more free resistance that you can get from your skill tree, the better you're going to be off. You could also take Faith and Steel if you wanted. It's not that great because we're going to be a life build in the beginning. We're going to be using life flasks and life. We're not going to be ES. The only time that we would switch to energy shield is maybe later when we're done the campaign. Okay, so that the third one, I finally chose Mistress of Sacrifice over Bone Barrier. And this was because at this point you should have the cast while channeling, cast when damage taken, Mistress of Sacrifice, Spirit Offering, Desecrate thing. Yep. But like I said, you could switch this order. You could take Mistress first if you don't want to die. Okay, and then 102. So this is where you're finishing up your skill tree. Oh, wait. Alright, this is 102. Sorry, I apparently put the 121 onto the 102, and then the 102 wasn't the 102 anymore. It was the 121, and I still needed... So, yeah, anyways, I did take Faith and Steel for the res in my POB. I also took Devotion because I liked it. I took Quick Recovery. Like I said, I was filling out the rest of the skill tree, getting the extra res. I came down here to Warrior's Blood, and because we're next to Warrior's Blood, we can go get Diamond Skin. This is all res. It's pretty good. 3%, 12%, 3%, 5% here. Just trying to raise that base resistance. You also are going to get the last Ascendancy. This shouldn't have it yet. My bad. It doesn't count anyways, but on the next one, we're going to be able to get the Ascendancy of Bone Barrier, which will be 30% res. So you can see that we get a lot of free res out of our skill tree, and that's just so that you don't require items to finish it. And now we'll show 121. So 121 is basically filling out the extra jewel sockets and filling out the extra health nodes on these extra things. But it's a pretty weird skill tree. This would be our basic league start, because at this point, at 121, you're 98. This is when you go for the final push. So just to show it again, 102, 79. So this is what I recommend basically as your early start. Basically no jewel sockets except for this one. And then when we're going for our last Ascendancy, and we fill out the extra jewels, we're kind of making money. We're in mapping, you know. That's where we're going to actually start to be able to afford items, and this is where we can really start to upgrade the build, and that's where you start to min-max and change everything. Maybe get damage through actual means and not through the skill tree, or through jewels instead of the skill tree. Yeah. I think that's super, super informative. It's super clear, I think, that jewel sockets are expensive because they're actual items and it costs currency. And so when you skip all jewel sockets and you just go for the normal, and when you break the skill tree down into the minion nodes, the life nodes, and the jewel sockets, it's pretty simple. And then you can break down the minion nodes into minion damage and minion survivability, and when you only need these two for survivability and the rest can go into damage, it's pretty nice. It's pretty simple, you know. So hopefully none of this changes and we can still utilize all this information in the new season. And that would be great because, as you see, we're fully prepared for the new season. And if you wanted to, you could change around a few things, take a little bit less life in places, maybe some less jewel sockets, take the extra spiritual aid, maybe take spiritual command, maybe take the rest of Death Attunement, get the minion life and shit. Maybe you could take Ravenous Horde for 7 points or whatever. All these options are available to you. This is just what I might go. I might not even follow this to a T. This is just to basically put it into a video what my thought process is behind my skill tree, because this was a viewer request a lot. They wanted me to explain the league start skill tree, especially with a league start coming up. This is going to be very important for a lot of people. Alright, and I now actually need to add in this last piece to finish off the video. So, in the last video, I talked about all the skill gems available for leveling, right? And I showed this nice PowerPoint with all these skills, and then a viewer pointed out that my Herald of Agony was with 1 Virulence stack, and I was like, oh, dude, he's right. Holy shit, wait, I was wrong about Herald of Agony. Let me show what it is. With 40. Whoa! So remember how skeletons were 16k? This would say that Herald of Agony at 40 stacks is double the damage of the skeletons. Not counting Val Summon Skeletons, so Skeletons is still fucking completely broken. But Herald of Agony is really good. Wow. If you can keep 40 stacks. Like, there's a lot that goes into Herald of Agony. Don't get me wrong, it's not as simple. Because, look, if you can only keep 20, it's only 8,000. So it's really important to keep it at 40 stacks. Like, it makes a massive difference. This is really hard. Like, Herald of Agony is like usually a full build kind of thing. Like, you're trying to do your whole build around it. You've committed to Herald of Agony. And like I said, a lot of people don't even go, you wouldn't even go Necromancer then to do Herald of Agony in a lot of cases. So this is interesting though. The guy's right, and Herald's way stronger than I gave it credit. My bad. This was just a correction to the last video. I felt like it was nice to add it in the end of this one. I need to also add this in here because I showed that, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of people now asking for that, so I'll fit it in too. If you go Herald of Agony and you figure out a build to make it work, right, you won't need the minion life stuff, so you can lose the sacrifice. You don't need... Like, it's really weird, dude. It's so different. But, yeah, you don't need this either, right? So that's super weird. That's so weird looking. But, yeah, you just don't need the minion life stuff. So you free up a bunch of points, and so you could do it off of a 91 for this skill tree. Okay, and now I wanted to show this. A 1-link 2020 Herald of Agony with 40 Virulence stacks, 104k with this skill tree. No items, no extra. That's pretty good. And then I put in a single 1 Val Summon Skeletons to show off the damage of 1. So the Skeletons, just straight up summoning them, is 155k, which is ridiculous. And then you still have the Val Summon version. Add another 600,000 DPS on top of this for boss bursting. So I wonder how good Skeletons are. XD, XD, XD. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this episode of figuring out how to plan your skill tree in the beginning of a league as a minion build, and I've shown you pretty distinctly that you can make you can use this as a guide for any Necromancer minion build. I hope this could be informative, could help you with your own builds if it wasn't even if it wasn't my build. Now I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my 7 Patreon supporters and my 8 YouTube members. Thank you guys for all the support, and I couldn't do this without you guys. I appreciate, honestly, all the financial support, and like this chair, dude, the chair that I sit on, I wouldn't have this without you guys. Thank you guys for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!